So volcanic eruptions or lava flows is a common thing here on the Big Island. Or more specifically, it's a common thing on the southeastern side of the island. Here on the west side of the island, we hadn't had a volcanic eruption or lava flow for over 220 years. While on the southeastern side of the island, the volcanic eruptions and lava flows are a current thing, and they actually had one last week. So the last time there was an eruption on the west side of the island, more specifically Hualalai behind me. So in 1801 on the slopes of Hualalai, right behind me, there was an eruption, the Hualalai and the Kealakekua lava flows. That was a surface flow that went down to the ocean, that direction, and that flow wiped out the ancient Hawaiian fish pond called Pa'aia. That was the 1801 lava flow on Hualalai. Then in 1859, we had a lava flow on the west side of the island, but the flow originated on Mauna Loa. That flow came down between Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa and headed towards the shoreline, and eventually took out the ancient fishing village of Wainanali'i, better known today as Kiholo. That was a surface flow that went to the west side of the Big Island of Hawaii, but it originated on Mauna Loa. So there was one more lava flow. Well, it wasn't a lava flow, it was an eruption. It was a one-day eruption that not too many people know about, and that flow happened in 1877. So that volcanic eruption in 1877 had no lava flow, but yes, it was an eruption. And that flow was not on Mauna Loa, it was not on Hualalai. So I'm taking you to the location of the last eruption that happened on the west side of the island, and it's right here. Kealakekua Bay. Yes, Kealakekua Bay. About a mile offshore from Kealakekua Bay, there was a submarine eruption. Now, what is a submarine eruption? It's an eruption that takes place entirely underwater. So according from eyewitness reports from residents of Ke'e, which is in that direction, and Ka'avaloa, which is right behind me, the people who lived there at that time, which was 1877, reported of bubbling water, smoke, and pumice, the floating lava rocks, as a result of the eruption underwater, bubbling out about a mile offshore from Kealakekua Bay. So this smoking, bubbling water coming up from the surface, along with the pumice, the volcanic rock that actually float for a little while because of all the gases that's embedded in the rocks. The rocks will float a little while and then will sink back to the bottom. So these floating rocks, along with the bubbling water and the smoke, is indicative of a submarine eruption, an underwater eruption. And that took place all right here, right outside of Kealakekua Bay in 1877. To be more specific, February of 1877. That eruption lasted only one day, only a few hours, but it was an eruption nonetheless, and we do have eyewitness accounts. So the last two eruptions and one lava flow that took place on the west side of the Big Island of Hawaii, 1801, the Kealakekua/Hualalai Kaupulehu lava flow. Then 1859, the Mauna Loa lava flow that went 32 miles down the coast, and it flowed into the fishing village of Wainanali'i. Now that wasn't a west side eruption, it was a west side lava flow that originated up in Mauna Loa. And then the final eruption that took place on the west side of the Big Island of Hawaii, which is February of 1877, right here in Kealakekua Bay. Now if you didn't know that, well now you do. The February 1877 eruption, a volcanic eruption in Kealakekua Bay.